What do we have for Pisces, please? Five of Cups, Scorpio energy at the foundation. What else do we have, please, Spirit? Knight of Pentacles, Earth energy at the sacral. And what do we have at the solar plexus, please? Okay, we're going to take both of these. Emperor. And Five of Swords in reverse. Pisces, what I'm seeing here is quite clear. There's something that you are being guided to release at this time. I feel that whatever this is has been slowing you down. It's been creating some sort of energetic weight for you on your path. It has to do with the relationship that you either keep with yourself or it has to do with a relationship that is external to you. Now, the Five of Cups Scorpio energy at the foundation is speaking about what needs to be released. There's some sort of cycle of toxicity here, some sort of cyclical pattern. Whatever it is, it's just enough that it's slowing you down. Now, the Knight of Pentacles at the sacral position is telling us that whatever it is you've been trying to make your way towards, you're walking down that path with too much energetic baggage, which is causing the energy to move very slowly. The Knight of Pentacles is an energy that is just about at a standstill. It is the slowest moving energy in the tarot. It's to say that whatever you are holding on to here is making it harder for you to actually achieve what it is you have at this sacral position, right? Now, the sacral is all connected to your passion. It's the fire in your belly. So if there's something you've been working on, if there's something you've been trying to achieve, it could even just be a vision you have for your life. It feels like you're pulling teeth as long as you are carrying this Five of Cups energy with you. Now, the Emperor card, which represents Aries at the solar plexus, is the goal. This is the target. This is you in your power position. And then the Five of Swords in reverse on the other side of that Emperor at the heart is what needs to be released. That is representing you terminating some sort of unhealthy relationship in your life and being open to the change. What do we have at the throat, please, Spirit? And being open to the change is exactly right. Sun card, Leo energy at the throat, which is representing the target. Everybody wants to be in the sun energy. This is the most high vibrational card you can pull in the tarot, and it's coming out right after that Five of Swords in reverse. So whatever it is you release puts you in this sun energy. You have a success here. You have some sort of a breakthrough, and something is telling me that you can feel this. But the distance between where you are currently at and the beginning of this new path feels almost impossible for you to navigate, even though the distance might just entail you taking a couple of steps. And we have the Wheel of Fortune on the bottom of the deck here, Two of Wands. Yeah, there's some sort of fear associated with this. The Wheel of Fortune represents this new timeline, this new life cycle, right? You taking a gamble. But we see the devil there, right? And the devil on the Wheel of Fortune represents the fear that you need to release to be able to position yourself to get this new beginning. It's like Spirit saying to you, hey, we have this here for you. It's all yours. But you're going to have to drop whatever this is here that's holding you back, or you're going to have to go through this fear. We need you to face this. Whatever this is the sacrifice that you need to make to be able to start this new beginning in your life. And I'm getting a really dull ringing in my ears right now. And immediately I started thinking about your vibration, Pisces. You know, when it comes to manifestation, when it comes to, let's just say, trying to align with a new path or bring something into your life that you've really been hoping and praying and wishing for, it takes you becoming the vibrational match to whatever that is. It's like creating a world for that manifestation before the manifestation shows up, because that's the key to actually attracting the manifestation. It's like the manifestation is a newborn child, and you have to prepare a nursery for that newborn before it's even here, right? It's like that. It's like you need to create some sort of ritual around this manifestation, this vision, that sends an energetic signature out to the universe that lets the universe know that you are the best person for this manifestation. You are the best person for the job, so to speak, right? And the thing is, once you have actually done exactly what I'm detailing to you here. It completely changes your relationship with the universe, because now you set off down a path where you are applying this time and time again, and you are speaking the language of the universe through your vibration. But what we're seeing here is you carrying some sort of energetic weight, some sort of emotional baggage that is slowing you down and not allowing you to become the vibrational match to said manifestation, to this sun energy. The Five of Cups is an energy that's living in the past. The Sun card is an energy that is making the very best of the moment. And that's the key here. Get out of the past and don't worry about the future. Just become present in the moment. And when you do that, the future just has a way of working itself out. Now, think about that as well. If you are constantly living in the past, right? That means you're not actually present in this very moment. And if you are constantly worrying about the future, this also tells us you are not living in the moment. So it's almost as if you don't exist inside the space that you are currently occupying, which can make that future position become incredibly uncertain, right? The more present you are in the moment of just sorting through and sifting through whatever the universe has given you to handle in that moment, the sooner the future position becomes something that you think less and less about. What do we have at the third eye, please, Spirit? The Puppeteer at the third eye. Now, I very rarely pull this card from this deck. It's a bit of an oddball, but to me, it really represents how something in and around your life is controlling the outcome. And again, you could be doing this to yourself, or it could be something that's in and around your life that is dictating your path moving forward. And sometimes it doesn't even have to be obvious. It could just be something you're engaging yourself with that is putting you on an alternate trajectory to this manifestation. This puppeteer at that third eye position is also telling us that you need to cut the strings to some sort of toxic control patterns in your life. Somebody in your energy could be using some sort of guilt or lies to control the situation, or this is just something that you've been carrying with you. You know, the fact that the Five of Cups came right out the gates at the beginning of the reading, at the foundation, at the stability, at the root chakra of the reading, and the fact that that Five of Cups is an energy of living in the past, it's like you're carrying some sort of guilt here, and it's dictating, or I just heard coloring and or filtering your experience, right? This is a perfect example of how guilt can really change our forward trajectory, right? It's like you're carrying something, so now everything that you interface with on your path is colored by that experience, which led you to have that guilt. So obviously, Five of Swords at the heart, you need to release this toxic pattern from your life if it's something that you're doing to yourself, or you need to release this person and or thing in your life that is also influencing you to hold some level of guilt. And right on the bottom of the deck, we have the Fool. So you do have a new beginning here, but it feels as though this energy here is making it feel impossible to actually get this thing underway. You know, this is an energy of living on an alternate timeline than the one that a particular vision or manifestation exists on. And when you're on that alternate timeline, it's as if the timeline you're meant to be on, where that manifestation is just a dream. It's just a vision. It's not something that you can actually pull into your everyday waking life. But that right there is the illusion. See, what you're living in right now, not being fully engaged with said thing, is the illusion. It's to say that any other place except where that manifestation exists is a lie. And that's just another way of saying you are not living in your truth. What do we have at the crown, please, Spirit? Page of Wands, fire energy at the crown. Pisces, the only thing standing in your way of this right now is you taking the inspired action to make it happen. I feel that this whole reading here is speaking about you getting on the other side of the emotional barrier that is between you and this new life. There's something quite weighty here that I feel is hanging over you. It makes it feel like the days are dragging. It makes it feel like you're sick and tired. You know, Pisces, a lot of you are probably feeling very fatigued right now as well. I'm picking that up here in the energy. And I feel that the best way to explain why you may be feeling that way is because the space you're existing in right now, where you're not engaged with said vision and manifestation, is not where you're supposed to be. Sure, everything happens the way it's supposed to, and everything happens for a reason. but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're always supposed to be in that space. Sometimes you just need to be in the space that is the wrong space just to realize that you need to put a fire up underneath yourself and move yourself to the right space, right? Everything works when you think about it from the higher perspective of getting you from point A to point B. So having said all that, and to give you the simplest takeaway from that is that this energy that you're navigating right now, this very slow moving, fatiguing kind of space is actually the spark that you need. This is when you find something inside of you that says, you know what? This is not where I'm supposed to be. This is not what I'm supposed to be doing. I feel that calling inside of me. And as difficult as it may feel right now for me to muster up the strength and the energy to do something about my circumstances, come hell or high water, I'm going to get it done. And right on the bottom of the deck, we have the Hermit and the Queen of Wands. Okay, so the Hermit's all about introspection. And the Queen of Wands from this deck speaks about, well, right here, it's like you're a director. It's like you're directing the next scene in the movie that is your life. And Pisces, if you haven't already, please go ahead and like this video and or subscribe, as it really helps out my channel. What do we have at the foundation of the reading? Ace of Swords, air energy at the foundation. What do we have at the sacral, please? Yeah, it's like this emotional baggage you're carrying is creating this mental block, which makes it feel like getting to this is an impossibility. What do we have at the sacral, please? Okay, they want me to give you the example of we are the sum of the 5 closest people to us, right? To me, it speaks about how other people's energy can influence us, how other people's behavior can influence us. It speaks about how your habits and your mindset, even your health, have a tendency to reflect the people you surround yourself with the most, okay? So there's just something here, Pisces, about how that distance, again, between you and this particular vision feels impossible where you're at. It really does feel environmental. Sort of like when you take a little vacation, you get away for a while, maybe you get out in nature or you go someplace you haven't been before, and you just feel this huge rush of fresh energy wrap itself around you. And you have this feeling like anything is possible. You know, for me, whenever I take vacations, I always come back feeling very motivated to do a specific thing in my life that maybe I was dragging my feet with, you know, and sometimes it just takes getting away from certain energies so you can remember who you are, get back to basics, and begin refocusing yourself on your manifestations and or visions without environmental influence. And then we have the 8 of Pentacles, red in its shadow, right underneath that Knight of Pentacles. Again, very, very clear here, because this just followed what we said. That 8 of Pentacles from that deck is an energy of lacking ambition and focus. So it goes back to what I said about we are the sum of the 5 closest people to us, right? It's like you're focused on something, and then your environmental influence starts to consume you, which in turn affects your forward momentum in regards to whatever this is here. So they're giving me a similar message here from as many different vantage points as possible to really drive the message home here for you, Pisces. And then right on the bottom of the deck, we have Temperance. Now, the Temperance from this particular deck is like Temperance in its negative polarity. So it represents the disruptions in the energetic field around you. It represents the imbalances in the environment that are influencing you on your path at this time. What do we have at the solar plexus, please, Spirit? Okay, Hangman, Pisces, this is your energy. And even though this card came out reverse, I automatically read these cards like they're reversals because they're negative polarities, okay? So the Hangman red in its negative polarity, like it's a reversal, is an energy of feeling unmotivated, which all has to do with the environment. Yeah, there's something really dragging your energy here, Pisces. It could be for some of you that you're dealing with the situation where people are trying to lay some sort of guilt trip on you with this puppeteer energy, which is making it feel like you can't move forward, like you need to stay in a certain space. You know, maybe some people are using the fact that you have responsibility there as a way to try and manipulate you or hold you back. Now, Pisces, it's important to use proper discernment here. These readings are not for every single person that listens to them. This reading is going to be for people that are in some sort of toxic relationship with another person and or with themselves, and the toxicity of that particular relationship is creating energetic weight, which is making it feel impossible to actually hit their target here, okay? Pisces, there's a message here about decisions having been made and responsibility. And I feel that this is Spirit's way of saying that we can often make particular decisions in our life that we don't realize until much later on aren't in alignment with our highest good. But there could be some sort of responsibility now connected to the decision we've made, and it's important that we continue to show up for that responsibility. You know, a real basic example of this is two people that have a fling and they get pregnant, but they're very much not in love and they don't even really get along. And maybe the guy has big dreams for his life, and he realizes that those dreams now feel further away than they've ever felt before because of the situation he's gotten himself into with this other individual. And this individual says to himself, well, I have a vision, so I'm not going to deal with this. This isn't my responsibility. This reading right here is not in any way, shape, or form telling an individual like that they need to chase their dream because they have a responsibility over here to an individual that they now got caught up with, okay? And I have to say this because it actually blows my mind how many comments these videos get from people like that. People who clearly have a responsibility that was based on their own poor decision making. And they hear this reading and they somehow think that this reading is confirmation that they don't need to show up for their responsibility. That's not for you if you're listening to this reading. What do we have of the heart position, please, Spirit? Page of Cups, water energy at the heart. Now, Pisces, the Page of Cups from this deck is an energy that is repressing its intuition. It's an energy that is refusing good advice. And I feel that this is the relationship between you and Source, between you and Spirit. I feel that a lot of you have gotten to a point on your path right now where you're realizing, hey, maybe I should have taken that turn back there. Maybe I should have gone down that path. Maybe I should have removed myself from this situation a long time ago. But here we are now, okay? So the reason why I'm giving you this message is because it's important you know that Spirit has always been here for you, but there's been some sort of a disruption between you and your connection. And I feel it has everything to do with this situation and staying it much longer than Spirit would have liked you to. And Pisces, you are the most intuitive sign amongst all the zodiac signs. And the interesting part about this is that when you're not listening to your own intuition, which we all have our moments, you're all going to go through seasons of your life where you listen to it more than other times. That's just a part of being human. But it's going to hit you hard when you don't listen to it because it's going to make you feel like you're further away from Source, from Spirit. But this is to wake you up. It's a way of making you remember those times you did feel close to Spirit, right? It's like you have a barometer. You have something to measure this on. And what we're really trying to get to here, and if there was one simple takeaway I can give you, it would be that the distance that you feel between you and Source right now is an indication of just how strong your connection typically is. It's like Spirit saying to you, hey, we're going to put you in timeout for a minute over here because you're not listening to the good advice we're trying to give you. So while you're in timeout, you're going to yearn for the connection you have with us again and realize that we've always been here for you, trying to show you the correct way, but we need you to listen now. We need you to come back to us. And the result of you doing this is the Ten of Pentacles, Virgo energy. Inner and outer work. Now, the Ten of Pentacles is the wealthiest card in the tarot. So we have just gone through all of this energy here to finally land on the blessing, okay? This is the vision. This is the manifestation. Whatever it is for you now comes to pass because you come back to Spirit. And of course, this is underneath the Five of Swords in reverse, which is you terminating this unhealthy relationship with whatever this is here that we're picking up inside the field. And that's also at the heart position. And we spoke about how you're carrying some sort of emotional baggage with that Five of Cups at the foundation. It's like you releasing the emotional baggage here is what allows the Ten of Pentacles to come through. Now, Pisces, let's not forget that we also have the Sun here. So the Sun and the Ten of Pentacles in one reading like this is typically going to represent some sort of massive success and breakthrough that begins to unfold in your life once you sacrifice and release something from the equation. What do we have at the throat position, please, Spirit? Five of Swords again. So that just followed what I said about you releasing something, right? Removing something from the equation. And then we get the Five of Swords upright. And I'm getting two different messages here. It could be for two different groups of you. For some of you, it could be both. But there's an energy here of you terminating some sort of unhealthy relationship, again, with yourself and or environmental factors. This is you realizing that you're sacrificing your integrity in some capacity here to some sort of energies that may be in your environment. And this is a very clear message here for you that you couldn't begin to imagine what's waiting for you on the other side of actually releasing this. This is the energy of a miracle unfolding in your life. It's like an energy where you feel like you're at a rock bottom and that there's no way out, only to realize you have more options than you know, and they're all being channeled to you by the divine. So you begin to follow that channeling. You begin to follow your intuition. And slowly but surely, you climb out of the space that you were once in to then find yourself on the other side in a new timeline with the Sun and the Ten of Pentacles here. Stability, success, and happiness. And then right on the bottom of the deck, we have the Empress. Okay, so the Empress is the most abundant card in the tarot. So we have the most high vibrational, we have the wealthiest, and we have the most abundant, all showing up right here. And then we have the Page of Wands, which is all about inspired action, okay? King of Pentacles, also one of the most abundant cards in the tarot. And then Nine of Cups, so it's like you're leaving something behind here. Very clear, Pisces. What do we have at the third eye? King of Swords, air energy at the third eye. Spirit doesn't want you to hesitate on this any longer. I feel that you have sat with the emotions of this situation for enough time now. It's time to start taking some sort of quick action toward this. It's time to really grab the bull by the horns, follow your intuition, which is your superpower. See how this particular situation is repressing your own superpower? Isn't that interesting? It's like Superman and kryptonite, but the kryptonite for you is some sort of emotional baggage and or guilt. And that's the energy that's puppeteering you. You want to stop a Pisces from being the greatest version of themselves that they can possibly ever be? Go for their intuition. And how do you go for their intuition? You lay emotional baggage and guilt on them, so they're consumed by regret. And that guilt begins to consume them, which impacts their relationship with themselves. It's like an energy of being eaten alive by guilt, that you begin to have resentment towards yourself, which naturally disconnects you from your higher self, i.e. your intuition. Capiche? Okay. Spirit, what do we have at the crown to close this out for my Pisces, please? Nine of Swords, Gemini energy at the crown to close out the reading. And this card came out more in the reverse, but this particular deck I always read as uprights. I always read these like they're negative polarities, like the reversals. I always read these upright, positive polarities, okay? Negative, positive. Now, the Nine of Swords from this particular deck is you facing your fears. This is you overcoming the hopeless feeling that you have inside this situation, surrounded by this energy, whatever it represents for you. This is you overcoming the torment that this situation has burdened you with, right? That is the energetic weight. The guilt, the regret, the torment creates the weight, which again, in turn, impacts your relationship with yourself, which of course creates a disconnect between you and your higher self, not allowing you to use your own superpower, which as a Pisces is your intuition. So Pisces, this is very clear. So I'm going to go ahead and leave this here. Hopefully this has supplied you with something useful to get on the other side of this and get this breakthrough that I feel, based on the decisions you make in this very moment, are imminent. So with that, I will leave it here. All right, Pisces, this is what I have for all of you. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. If you feel you got something useful from this video, I hope that you'll give it a hype, as hyping the video really helps out my channel a lot and also helps to get the video into the algorithm, which can allow other people who might need to see this video to come across it on their feed. If you would like to join the membership side of my channel, you can find the links down below. I upload additional videos there each week. You can also find information for personal readings, as well as links to my online store. But in closing, I would like to know how this reading resonated with you, so drop me a heart and/or a comment down below, and I'll speak to you all again soon. Take care.